Hi guys, I thought I'd do some standardized testing on a couple of my large survival knives. I went out and got I think it's a 47mm by 47mm piece of pine. Don't know what kind of pine it is, but as it's consistent all the way through, and I should be able to get another piece of pine like this without too much hassle, figured it would be a good medium just to compare different blades on. Granted, this is nowhere near as hard as the woods I typically encounter out in the bush. Australian woods are notoriously hard. Right. So what I'm going to start off with is testing the Outback, my RTAK 2, and my Bowied Paratrooper. This is not anything like the stock knife. This is very highly modified. The grind on it is totally different to the way it comes. It comes with a Scandi grind, that is a convex grind on it now. It is sharp enough to shave with, even though I haven't touched it up since I carved a spoon with it and did some more firewood processing. I'm thinking of doing a video on how to make one of these. Just getting another Paratrooper and making a Bowie out of it. If I can find another one of these that's reasonably priced, I will be going through how to turn it into basically a far superior blade by reprofiling the edge. Cutting performance of this blows away what it used to be capable of. And if I can get around to doing that, I will probably be giving the new knife away. Probably a competition prize. Let me know if you're interested. So, I'm going to start off with the Outback from Down Under Knives. Well, I have taken this out recently and tried it on a very hard piece of wood. It was a dried, dead Australian hardwood, and I went through a knot with it. The only problem I can detect is the edge is fine. There's a slight gap developing in here. I can fit a hair through it. Although it may have came like that. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I've been going over this thing trying to find any little thing wrong with it after being so put through so much, and that's all I've been able to really find. Purely because it's not a full tang, but it has got quite a large tang, and I've seen people, well, stand on one of it, hold the blade steady and stand on the handle. So it is very strong, and the piece of wood is just insanely hard that I beat it through. But let's get into pine. Right, let's see what it can do. Right, that wasn't even a full swing. That was, well, just a tiny swing. Let's why not give it a full swing, straight down. That is quite impressive. Alright, let's move on to the RTAK 2. Do you see what I see? I may as well give another one going in on an angle, just to compare. And so, alright. knives away. Let's examine what we have here. I think it is pretty obvious which one of these has more chopping power. Pretty obvious which one went in deeper. That's the Outback. That is the Ontario RTAK 2. Quite a noticeable difference. If we move over to the diagonal cut, it's even more of a even bigger difference. There. Again, Ontario RTAK 2, the Outback. So, looking at it, yeah, the Outback wins that one. The Outback has got a lot more weight. The RTAK 2 has a thinner edge profile, but the weight of the Paratrooper just means it's got more momentum, so takes a little more to stop it once it's going through. This is my modified Paratrooper. Didn't quite connect full force with that one, sorry. That is quite impressive. Alright. Yep. To be honest, that is almost as much penetration as the Ontario RTAK 2. There is no way the original edge on this would have done that. That's the power of a convex. Oh man. Although I am noticing that it's bouncing. Look at that. A little strange. Like, or is that just... Actually, that's weird. 2 cuts. If you can see that. There are 2 cuts there from the one swing. And again on that one. Not quite sure what's doing that. It's probably bouncing out and then recontacting the edge. The Outback gets more penetration, and the Outback chops better than the RTAK 2. Whereas my modified Paratrooper got almost the same penetration, but wedged a lot more. So that will bust out chunks a lot better. Possibly. This is really a soft wood. Let's see how the RTAK 2 performs. Ooh, that's not a good sound. Whew. My lord. It might just be the stand that's on. Just a few little wrist flicks. Now the same with the Outback. I don't know about you, but I'd say that with just a few little flicks of the same amount of force, the Outback is penetrating deeper, much more noticeably than with a piece of softwood. I'll give it just a single wrist flick. Alright. Don't know how well you can see that. Give it another one with the RTAK 2, the same amount of force. I hit a flatter surface, got nowhere near as much penetration. I'll try and put another one closer to where the Outback hit, just because they'll give a much better, much more accurate representation. Right, same amount of force. Alright. Yeah, I can see a definitely the Outback is getting more penetration. There's another one trying to get real close. Alright. Yep, missed. Yeah. Outback is getting more penetration. Let's have a look at Bowied Paratrooper. Nowhere near as much penetration. Alright. Another one. Whoops. I went straight into the hole. Nope. Again. Yep. Nowhere near as much penetration. This one has considerably less mass than the others. So, it's not getting as much penetration, just like with the softwood. However, yeah. That's a given. These are just... Whoa. Yeah. These are just little wrist flicks. With this you can actually swing it slightly faster than the other heavier blades. But, alright, that's as much testing as I'm going to do.